I'm so happy to be talking with you today. Thank you for taking the time. I'm sorry about all that mix up earlier.
Name of the game. I'm happy to talk to y'all. I
Thanks.
talked to somebody from Sheen actually at the premiere on the red carpet, so that was cool.
Okay, fire. So this is going to be a little bit more extensive.
Yeah.
I'm going to get to learn a lot more about you and your role, and I'm really excited to do so. So before we get started, I want to know, how's this press run been for you? How has your week been so far?
It's been good. It's been crazy. We're honored to promote the show, and honestly, just the reception that we've been getting thus far has been. I kind of just try to keep my expectations here, like just
Yeah.
very right there, so that I'm not, either too happy or too sad, but just kind of seeing the way people are responding to our labor of love is it's kind of emotional a little bit. Like, dang.
Yes.
Y'all really like it. Y'all really like our stuff. Like that's
I'm
cool.
really, yeah, I'm loving seeing the momentum being built for season two. And I think
Yeah.
that this cast really, really deserves it. So I'm excited to hear that you're feeling it too and you're grounded and all that's happening for you guys. It's really beautiful to watch.
It's amazing to be a part of, to feel, especially coming from season one to now. Like I literally feel the glow up for
Yeah.
our show. Like from how we did it season one, Kevin Fredericks, my brother, my hero, he literally championed his own project, put his money where his mouth was, and paid for it. And
Hmm.
now for us to have a season two on the network, that we all grew up watching, it just you could feel the glow up just watching it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you brought up Kevin because I want to know how it feels working with someone that you have such a close relationship who it seems like created a role that feels pretty tailor-made for you and embodies you.
It's crazy. Kevin is I tell people all the time they just don't make him like Kevin Hollywood. He's a special guy. He's so helpful. He's so generous. He champions everyone around him. He really believes in reaching around him and below him to bring people up versus just always reaching up to bring people, and that really means a lot to me. The role Rodney, when he first sent it to me, a lot of people think I didn't audition for the show, but I auditioned 4 times to play Rodney. Yeah.
Okay.
And when he DM'd me and was like, "Yo, I got this role. I think you might be really right for it. Would you audition?" And he asked me, "Would I audition?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like of course." He sent me the script. I read it, and for like the first time, I was like, "Yo, bro, Mark, this is you. Like, you don't even really have to like pull out any extra acting. I'm like,
Mhm.
yo, I really think this is the one of the few times where you could really just play straight on who you are. And I did, and we went on for a few rounds and it just ended up working out. And at this point, it has felt like the role of a lifetime just because I don't get an opportunity to merge my faith as a believer in God and as a PK, as a person who grew up in church, and my art. So getting able to merge those two things together is more than special.
I'm actually really glad you said that. Before I go over there, I do want to know the synergy that you and Kevin have created off camera. How does that help with your role on camera and creating the world of Rodney?
Kev makes ev Kevin makes everything so free. Like, so you don't feel weighed down when you come to work with Kev. He has created such a free um place for you to just come and be. And he's the same way on screen as he is off screen. And I say that to say he's a comedian on the screen and he's a comedian off the screen. We're laughing via text message in our group chat with the whole cast. We're laughing on set. And him and like Tahir, they're real comedians and like I'm not, so I actually felt a little inferior working alongside Kev just because I'm like, I'm just an actor, a comedic actor, and them boys is like stand-up comedians, like so they can go, but they're so generous with their gifts, with their jokes. I have stolen many of their jokes and then said them when the camera started rolling. Like, in between one of the takes, Tahir called Kev Caillou. Soon as the camera started rolling, they said action. I said Caillou, and it made it into the cut. And I'm like, that wasn't even. And I thank Tahir because I found in the comedian community, like stealing jokes is like a thing. I don't know. I just be on set stealing. So
Right.
from the top down, he creates that kind of atmosphere, that kind of energy. And doing press with Kev. was even better because we got to be on the road together and really, learn more about each other and really just be brothers in this journey. And I really gained a brother out of Kev in this journey.
That does come across, and I will say, you might not call yourself a comedian, but your comedic timing is so enjoyable to watch.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
of course. So you mentioned your faith, and the way that you've been talking about your faith during this press run, for me personally, has been so refreshing. It's been beautiful to watch. And so I've heard you say before, you don't feel like you chased this role, you feel like it was ordained.
Yeah.
I really love the way that you've been able to verbalize that. So, how has that perspective shaped the way that you've played this role?
You know, I haven't had to come with any. So, of course, as an actor, you prepare.
Mhm.
And I'm learning my lines and I'm making sure my intentions are set and I'm doing all of the textbook actor things, but I don't have to fully just rely on them because number one, this is one thing that truly God ordained for me. So I owe it to God to walk in it in the way that I'm supposed to versus trying to be rigid and turn it into something else. I literally owe it to God. God said, I made this for you, the way that you're shaped, the way that you speak, the way that your life has lent for this moment. So it would be a slap in the face to God to walk into a role like this and just go rogue. Like, yo.
Yes.
So I'm so grateful that I understand that. And I also understand being an actor. And I also have a person like Kev and Kev on Stage Studios who allows me to be free. So it really is amazing to feel that God has ordained you, and then you can go to work free and happy. And you're not going because I've gone to other sets before, and you see the execs coming, and you're like, oh, I gotta get it together, or you just kind of
It.
feel nervous, or you feel
Yes.
because you're like the suits are watching, the execs are here. I'll never forget a movie I did about a year ago. The exec from the network came and I was like, ugh. I never felt that way one bit at Churchy because I'm just like, yo, man, this big God on this one. Like, I gotta be me. I have to do what thus said the Lord on this one.
Yes, it's very aligned and it comes across. So, from season one to two, like we've talked about, there's a beautiful momentum brewing here with season two. How do you think you've evolved? And then how do you think Rodney, the character, has evolved? Like you've mentioned, the energy on set really does allow you to be grounded in who you are playing and find your comfort in evolving that world of Rodney. So, yeah, how has that character evolved and where do you think he's headed?
I think Rodney has evolved so much because Mark J.P. Hood, evolved. When we shot season one, that was 2022, and it's 2025 now. And so in the entertainment industry, we see aggressive highs, aggressive lows. There's always a lesson, there's always a revelation, and there's so much lived experience that happens between years. And I've had so much lived experience that allow me to look at my art a little differently and to allow me to shape things a little differently. Furthermore, I think that Rodney season one, he was just kind of Corey's sidekick, Corey's guy, Corey's best friend, ride or die. But I feel like it's cool that in season two, Rodney is really he has his own opinion. He's coming into his own. He's getting into his own mischief. It's all together. We're all together and we're doing it together. But you really kind of see, like, okay, Ronnie's kind of doing his own thing. Somebody tweeted the other day, they said, wow, I never would have thought that Rodney would have got fast between season one and season two. Maybe Rodney moved to Lubbock and, so he saw some motion and he down there, he's on a different type time. So I really love that Richard Washington, who's our supervising producer, that he really gave Rodney some more room to grow.
Yes.
And because I grew since then, even as an actor, like I feel like every day I'm growing, every month I'm growing, every project I'm growing. And so I just feel like you should always be a better actor on the next project and on the next season. And I'm a better actor. I'm a better comedic actor because I've learned so much more since then. So I just feel like I'm doing some pretty smooth work, if I say so myself.
Yeah, it feels like we're following the journey of development for both you, Mark, and the character of Rodney. And
Yeah.
so I like that you keep bringing up, that you're really solidifying the skill of being a comedian
Yeah.
during this show, during this filming. And some people might know you from your work in Broadway. Some people might be being introduced to you now. And so I want to give people an opportunity to know a little bit more about your background in Broadway and how that has helped you approach this new role in TV as well.
Yeah, so my background in theater, I'll be more specific.
Theater, I'm sorry.
I won't say Broadway because it gets very. But my musical theater background is pretty extensive. I come from Chicago, which is a theater city. Like outside of New York, Chicago is where it's at. Chicago has the best theater actors, musicians, dancers, movers, theater directors, theater companies. Like Chicago is rich in theater. And so that's really was my foundation. So I was a theater kid, very smart kid, 5, 6, 7, all the way up through school and all the school plays and the school musicals. Going to theater camp. Shout out to Mr. Bobby and Miss Goon, because that's where it all came from. And then I was an ensemble member at the Black Ensemble Theater where I learned how to perform. The Black Ensemble Theater is a theater that is about number one, music, and it's about the performance. And I learned how to really perform there. And just my experience at all the other houses, the Marriott Theater and Porchlight, and that is where you learn to me how to like I said perform because you have to take story, but it's not just story. It's music too. It's cues too. It's choreography too. It's lighting too. I got to make it over there. When I walk across this stage to meet that light, that walk had to mean something. Why did I
Mhm.
walk? And a lot of times in TV, TV and film actors don't quite know or understand that medium yet. So I just appreciate that I learned from a young age what it means to move in front of people and how everything I do has to mean something. Then I was able to, progress into directing in the Chicago scene, and that is really what changed my life. I say there's my life before I was a director and then my life after being a director. Because once you start directing, you really understand things on a different level. Like,
Right.
oh, I was being that type of actor. Like I learned what type of actor I was and how that wasn't a good actor for certain directors. And I learned how to be a better collaborator, how to be a better communicator, and just how to further a story along. So yeah, theater, I'm never beating the allegations. Theater to me is the best medium. It's my favorite medium. I'm a theater boy from sun up to sundown. I don't care. Say what you want to say. I'm a musical theater boy and very proud of it.
I've only heard good things, so I don't even know what you're referring to, but I will say it does sound like a beautiful story of when preparedness and alignment
Yep.
connects and equals to success, because it sounds like everything you've done up until this point has almost come together for you to embody this role in the way that you've embodied it. So, like we've said, comedy is at the heart of Churchy. And it touches on faith and purpose, obviously. So I want to know, what do you want the audience to walk away with after watching Churchy, and specifically regarding Rodney?
So as far as a whole, what I really want, and it may be cliche, but I want people to watch this show and experience mindless joy, meaning they don't got to think hard. They can really unplug from anything else that's going on in life because life is heavy right now for a lot of people. Our country is doing all types of things as well. And people just sometimes need something to not think about. Like they just need something to turn on and just laugh and not even have to like overthink the laughs because there's like Dave Chappelle comedy, which I think is one of the most brilliant styles of comedy. And I call that thinking comedy
Yes,
because
absolutely.
everybody may not get it. And like sometimes I don't get it. And I'll be like, oh my God, that was funny. Churchy, I don't want people to have to think about that at all. I want them to turn it on and just be laughing. And sometimes maybe not even know why they're laughing and then go to bed a little bit lighter because
Hmm.
you just had some mindless joy. And that may sound remedial to some. Some may say, why would you want people to have mindless joy? Because that's what's needed. And it just like it's just what's necessary. So that's really
Sometimes
what
we need to escape.
we need to just escape. And Churchy ain't deep like that. Yo, it's a pastor who moved to this town with his crew, and it's them finding their way through church. And we're not even at church this season. And that's why I think the season is even more brilliant because we're only at church one time this season. Only on episode 8 is the only time we like go to church. Otherwise, it's all the happenings around it. So I also want people to see that right now, Corey is pastoring a community-sized church. Most churches that people go to are community-sized churches. Like
Yeah.
they don't go to Joel Osteen or like all the big mega pastors and stuff like that.
Right,
So I
right.
would like them to see pastors like Corey and not view pastors just like Joel Osteen and Mike Todd, TD Jakes, and those people are incredible and they are great for inspiration and getting the word, but people look to them and are like, all pastors are living it up and they on private jets and blah, blah, blah. No, most pastors in your community are like Corey.
Hmm.
They got their crew and they like making it through. So I think that people can kind of get a little more empathy for the local pastor, which is he just trying to make it work for his community. So I want people to leave away with that as well.
And I think it's touching on majority of people's actual lived experience.
Here it is.
Whether you're someone who's grown up in the church or not, there is a proximity to this world that majority, especially Black Americans, have. So I
Yeah.
think you guys are touching on, and from what I've seen, touching on it so beautifully. But yes, with this theme of an escapism where we can kind of laugh at our own experiences, our own pain, our own joy,
Yeah.
all of it. Um,
Yeah.
so I want to know some, because you did mention the Caillou moment, and I think it'd be fun to know a couple more behind the scenes moment that really captures the spirit of the show and the cast.
Man, it's so funny. I'll give you some lore. There's an episode where I am episode 4. I'm wearing, well, maybe it's 2, 3. It's 3 or 4, but it's called Lil Book Lotto, and I'm wearing glasses the entire time. And that was the first episode we shot. And this is just how amazing Kev, he sets the bar so that everybody just goes with it. The day before shooting, the day before day one, I got this big like sty, just eye
Oh,
infection. It was crazy. And I didn't even want to tell Kev because it's the night before production begins. How am I gonna like drop this? But like I'm like, he don't want to hear this. Like, I can't tell him, but I had to because I'm like, dog, what we gonna do? I hit him. I told him I showed up next day. Everybody was laughing about it. They had a plan. They're like, yo, here, wear these glasses. We'll shoot around it, blah, 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 blah. And they even made a little storyline for it. And that's just how funny Kev is. Like the episode opens and Kev says, so you gonna tell us why you wearing these glasses all day? And I took the glasses off and they kind of blacked it up. And I said, sometimes you go to bed with a woman and her nigga wake you up as if he hit me in the face. And it was just dumb. And that's a piece of lore. What else?
well, that's a testament to, again, the relationship that you and Kevin have behind the scenes that gets to translate on camera, and then we
Yeah.
get to enjoy every piece of it.
And we get that with everybody. Kev has built such a beautiful relationship with the whole crew, from Mother Jean, who's played by Lexi, or Pastor Stinny, Anthony. Tahir Moore is his good friend because they used to do comedy together. And
Right.
Tahir was honestly one of the best additions to the show this season as Calvin Crooks. Calvin Crooks has stolen the show this season, and I love it because I'm like, we needed that. It was just Corey and Rodney season 1. We needed Friends season
Right.
2. And because everybody is actually friends, like outside of it, like we like each other, we got to be on set and just make up stuff. There's another joke in the Bible Bowl or maybe Vacation Bible School episode, and it's so funny because it was real. Sharon says, but y'all don't know how to do it like my girl JL in the Bible. We're like, who? And Sharon's like, yeah, JL, she pegged it, blah, blah, blah. And me and Tahir was like, whoa, whoa, pegging, wait a minute. Like, yo. And she's like, no, that's not what it meant. But that was a real reaction from Tahir on like, yo, or like Vacation Bible School. I'm just giving it all to you at this point.
I
Uh,
love it.
there's the Vacation Bible School episode. I'm teaching the kids how to speak in tongues and how to shout. That was not written. The episode was written for me to teach them music. It was like I was supposed to be at the board teaching them a boring lesson on gospel music. And I did it one time as written. And then I was like, where's Kev? Where's Kev? Somebody go get Kev. And I was like, Kev, like, I think I got something else. Like, can
Mm.
I go? I said, can I go? And he said, go. And I did that whole Roboko Namansa ha, and it made it. And it's just that wasn't even in the script. Like, and the script is I mean, the show is full of stuff that wasn't even in the script. It's
Uh-huh.
just all an ad lib because Kevin is dumb, Tahir is dumb, Jasmine Love is dumb, and Quinn Walters is dumb. I'm not. I'm the only one who's
Well,
not.
obviously, but there's also a beautiful level of freedom that you guys are all able to operate with that creates this gorgeous magic that we have with Churchy.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I love those stories. Thank you so much.
First, look, you got the first listen at them, at the lore. I've given nobody else any lore.
Thank you, Mark. So, for performers, because I do feel like being in theater and being so grounded in your faith and keeping that at the forefront of everything that you do leaves you with this perspective that I think is really informed. And I would love to know for people watching you who are inspired by you, who have watched your journey, or who are going to meet you for the first time and then become inspired by your journey, what advice would you give?
I think that, I think it's very important to never stop dreaming.
Mm,
And when I was in eighth grade, my eighth grade graduation speaker said, if the dream is big enough, the facts don't count. And that has stayed with me my whole life as a lifelong dreamer. This is kind of all that's been it for me. I've never done anything else. So I knew like I've just been a dreamer. I walked to the gym today and I was walking through Hollywood and I was just talking to God and saying my dreams. And I found myself tempering one of my dreams today. I had a dream like, and I was tempering it like, oh, well, maybe. Then I said, no, 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 no. We don't temper our dreams around here. If the dream is big enough, the facts don't count. Dog, dream. Yes, you can do that. Yes, you can get that. Yes, you can go there. And I think that is so important. My advice to anybody who's trying to do this, never stop dreaming. Because the minute you stop dreaming, the minute it's over. You're just up and you're just living. No, what is life without a dream, without a goal, without something to work towards? And that don't mean it's easy at all. Because
no.
it's in the same breath of me dreaming, I'll be like, oh my God, Lord, this is hard. Like I'm trying, I'm trying. But when I fixed myself, literally just an hour ago when I was walking from the gym, like, no, we don't temper our dreams around here, all because of reality. Because what is reality? I didn't know that this would be reality right now, that I would be one of the leads on a show on a network I grew up watching, interviewing with Tatiana at Sheen magazine right now. This was a dream that I did not temper, that I did not bring down, that I did not change. So I just encourage everybody to never stop dreaming. Even when you achieve your dreams, we got to keep dreaming. I had to dream some new dreams today.
I appreciate that so much. If the dream is big enough, the facts don't matter.
They don't. They
Yeah,
literally,
because it keeps you focused on the vision rather than you enjoy the journey, but you know exactly where you're headed in terms of if the dream is mine because it's meant for me. It was given
fine
to
because
me
it's
because
meant for
it's
me.
meant for me.
But no matter what's happening around, that really doesn't count. And then, that kind of dillies and dallies into delusion. But sometimes you got to be a little delulu to make it happen. And I
Oh,
don't care.
Delulu is the Salulu mark. Those
I'm
who get it, get it.
willingly delulu. Like, yeah,
Yes.
it's going to happen. And you know how I know? Because it has happened.
Yeah, you're a
It's
testament to
happening.
creating your own reality,
Yes.
100%. Oh, thank you so much, Mark. It's been so great talking to you.
So
I've
amazing.
learned
Thank
a
you.
lot from watching your press journey of your perspective, and I find your vulnerability to be something so beautiful and so refreshing. And I just hope that you don't lose that. I don't think you will. I think you're going to continue inspiring other people to kind of step into that vulnerability themselves. So
Thank you.
thank you for taking the time to talk to me and sharing your story and your passion with us all.
Thank you so much for having me. This was
My
incredible.
pleasure.
It just felt like a conversation with old friends.
Right? Okay,
Yeah.
we have to keep in touch then.
I was just about to say, let's stay connected. Make sure on
Yes.
IG we, doing
I
things.
will DM you.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you so
Have a great
much.
rest of your day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.